So really quickly, we're going to go over how to borrow some font styles from dafont.com. If you don't have the ability to download fonts on the computer that you're on, or if you just need something quick, not for commercial use, because you should be, downloading these things, donating to the authors. People made these fonts, but this is just one way that you could borrow something for, quick, non-commercial use kind of stuff. You're going to want to type whatever, first find your font. Dafont.com is a great font resource. And because we're going to be working in Illustrator today with image trace, which is essentially what this tutorial is about, I'm going to submit that as my preview. And actually, I should change my size to large, again, just for this purpose of borrowing. I'm going to zoom in on the web page so I get this fairly large, not so big that like it's super pixely like that, but just big enough that I can see it, and do a print screen. On my computer, it's a function and the shift key or print screen. And now I'm going to go back over to Illustrator, and then just Control V or edit and paste should print that screen, put that print screen image on your desktop. And first thing I'm going to do is crop up at the top, bring it down to just that area so my image trace doesn't have to work too hard. Hit enter. And then up top, so long as you have your selection tool and your image selected, you'll see image trace up top. Click that button and it'll give you kind of a crude tracing. But if you open up your image trace panel options, let me move this over here so you can see it. You'll see a default tracing result black and white. I'm going to leave it black and white. I'm going to bump up my threshold a little bit, and if this arrow isn't twirled down under advanced, I'm going to twirl that down. The first thing that I'm always going to do is get rid of the noise. Take that down to 1, and every time I do this, I'm going to kind of look and see what changes it's made. Maybe bump up my pass, mess with the corners possibly, but threshold is going to give you your most dramatic changes. I'm looking right here at the kind of elbow of the G. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. See, I'm getting, it's pretty good here. Looking at stuff like that. See how that's smoothed out right there? Control Z. And you see a little jig jag right there. But what did I do? Bumped up my corners, I guess. Did that do it? Maybe even more. Yep, I got it. Bumping up my corners, took out that little jiggy jag. This looks pretty good, pretty close to the original. So the last thing I have to do is go up here and hit expand. Let me zoom out a little bit and get rid of my image trace panel now. Just tuck it back over here for later. It's the circle with the points around it. Zoom out. Now that I've expanded it, I can use my white direct selection tool to select my background, but I'm also going to use this little guy up here once I've started, select similar objects. That's just a quick key. You can also go to select menu and go to same and fill color, have the same result. So again, but the fast one is just right here. Select similar objects and delete. If you then notice, all of these with the direct selection will be separate shapes. The rest of them should be, yes, grouped together. You now have a vector of your word or whatever it was that you put in your preview, separate from any background so that it is transparent, see? And you can use it in a non-commercial design of your choice. Hope that helps.